Very lucky today for our catamaran feature. I am featuring Boat of the Year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Catamaran of the Year, never been done before. Cosmos, tell me about this XS13. What is so unique about this boat?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Mark. So here we're at the Sanctuary Cove International Boat Show, and we're launching for the first time in Australia the XS13, which, as Mark just mentioned, is the first catamaran ever to have won the European Yacht of the Year in 23 years. So what makes this catamaran so special? Let's go on board and have a look. Welcome.
It's really a mixture, isn't it, Cosmos, of for sailors and for people who want to, you know, have like a luxury liveaboard, a comfort
exactly
liveaboard.
right. That's what we've tried to do with the XS brand, is to really find that perfect balance between performance, or we often like to refer to it as fun, because performance can be a bit subjective, and comfort. So for instance, a few things to note before we hop on board is the way the hulls are designed with XS. So we're actually on asymmetric hulls compared to traditionally on a catamaran the hulls are symmetric.
Let's walk around and we'll just have a look at that. Yeah, yep.
I can point it out to you.
Yeah, yep.
On the starboard side of so in between the two hulls, we're very straight sort of setup, so the water flow is very smooth. And then on the outside, we've got the hull which tulips out, giving you extra volume inside.
Lovely.
So
all right.
There's two philosophies I'll keep referring back to when we go through the boat.
Yep.
The first one is less is more, and the second is seek sensations. As you can see on the mainsail, it's really one of our slogans, because a lot of our XS owners, they're adventurous, they're seeking sensations. Cool. So
because I suppose a lot of I have a monohull,
yes,
and a lot of people believe that you go a monohull walkaboard. We have a monohull for performance, but this is a performance catamaran.
Exactly. Well, I'd say fun catamaran. You know, performance can be so subjective. But yeah, one of our slogans for XS is for those who swore they'd never buy a catamaran. And I'm really victim to that, because I've raced monohulls my whole life. And as soon as I sailed on this, I was like, wow, we're on a real sailing boat. You know, upwind on the XS13, you're very quickly above 7 knots, 8 knots, with a good true wind angle. And as soon as you pop the code 0, you're above 10. You know? So you're always cruising between 7.5 to 12 knots of boat speed, which is not racing, but a nice, very nice, comfortable cruising speed.
Yep.
So a few features we'll go through. As I mentioned earlier, two philosophies. One is less is more, the other one seeks sensations. And I always like to start showing people about less is more here with these aft platforms.
Yep.
So with XS, again, we understand that, you know, boats need maintenance and all that sort of thing. So we want to make it simple and reliable, because you only enjoy the boat when it works. So for the aft platforms, we've simply got a nice pulley system, no electronics, no mechanics. And when you're underway, you just pull up your platform. You've got more safety inside the cockpit. If you've got a following sea, you've got extra protection. And when you come into the marina, or you're anchoring and you want to be swimming off the back,
very easy to lower down.
Oh, there you go, and you can step off. And
very nice. Nothing can go wrong. Not much.
I mean, and if it does, it's easy to fix.
Yes.
That's also what's, you know, it's the reality of it.
Yeah.
So then we come into the cockpit of the XS13. One of the, I mean, quite impressive features of the cockpit on the 13 is the amount of storage we've got. Everywhere underneath here is storage, and under here we have quite a unique one, which in fact opens this way. And we have a complete wet locker in here.
Oh, nice.
So a lot of our owners, as I was saying, seek sensations. They do water sports. They launch their wing foil off the back. They come up. They can put their wetsuits, their snorkeling gear,
everything.
Rinse it off, and it's self-draining.
Lovely.
So that's a really nice little touch there. Another small little touch, which I like to talk about on XS, is always with the owners in mind. A lot of catamarans have the engine circuit breakers in the engine bay. We've decided, let's make it easier for them, and we've just popped it up here. So you get on your boat, turn on your engine circuit breakers, and off you go.
Lovely.
Instead of having to open the engine room. Under here we've got more storage. I won't go into all the detail, otherwise we'll be here all day.
Yep.
Gas lockers in here.
Yep.
And quite a unique space here is the in and out that we find on the XS13. It's a really lovely space. As soon as you go sailing, this is where everyone wants to be. Because it's what I usually say is it's like being on in the companionway on a monohull. You're kind of inside, you're kind of outside. You can help with the cooking. You can pass things to the table. It's a really great spot. You can see your nav station there.
Yeah, yep.
And if you need to be quickly going to the home station, you've got quick access. So here we're on the 3-cabin layout of the XS13. On port side we've got 2 VIPs, and on starboard we've got whole hull for the owners. So I'll take you through the boat. So forward here on the port hull, we've got the smallest cabin, which, believe it or not, we still have a 2-meter wide bed, which makes it very comfortable.
Yeah.
Here we've got, if you want to come through.
Yeah, yep.
Perfect. We've got a bathroom, which is in a Jack and Jill setup.
Oh, wow.
So we've got 2 toilets.
Yep.
And a shower in the middle, which can be shared. So the idea being that if you have 1 guest on board, they have a huge bathroom.
Yep.
And if you have 2, they have their own toilet, but they share the shower.
And you've got a door to separate that.
Yeah,
you can. Oh, yeah. So we've got doors on both sides.
Exactly right. And then just close it off.
Yep. So you've got a little bit of privacy in that. Yeah, lovely.
So we're only on a 40.7. The hull length of the boat is just below 42 feet.
Yep.
So it's quite impressive. So there are some small, smart decisions we have to make.
Yeah, and it looks like you've got plenty of hanging space too.
Exactly. So one thing which is cool on the 13 is we've got these magic doors. So to close off here.
Yep. Double uses. Yep.
And now we have access to all of our wardrobes.
Yep.
And underway to secure the clothes, make sure nothing moves.
Fantastic.
So you save the weight of the door, you save the banging doors, you save the cost as well.
Two purposes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we find that again in the aft section here.
Yep.
And many people go when they see the Jack and Jill bathroom.
All right. And it's a nice space, isn't it?
Yeah. So one thing making this really a sailor's boat is the forward-facing chart table. And I really like it because what's nice is you can be at your computer, just like that, pull your computer out, and when you're doing your nav, you see under the jib. So you can see your AIS, you can see all of the charts, and you've got real visibility.
Lovely.
So it's a real good space. All your cables and computers and things can go here.
And navionics? Garmin navionics, yeah?
Yeah, depending on your
setup.
setup.
What you like,
yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
So this is also a repeater from the outside.
Yep.
So you can run your autopilot from here. So in foul weather, and the reality is a lot of people who sail catamarans, or as soon as you go offshore, as soon as you leave the marina, autopilot on. So it's great. You can manage it from here as well if you wish.
And the galley, you've got gas?
Yeah, absolutely. Excess, we're about reliability. And yes, we can do an induction, but we usually promote more the gas because it's more reliable and we want you to enjoy your boat.
Yep.
A few things that I like to point out earlier, I mentioned about less is more. This is a really good example because instead of having a push button, which might eventually let you down and fail, it's hard to replace, here, little piece of rope, super easy, will never let you down. So small little touches like that throughout the boat make it really a joy to live on and to sail around. So now we're going to go down into the owner's hull. Here's the masterpiece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very open spaces, very breathable.
You can open everything too to let a heap of air in.
Yeah, loads of windows throughout to let lots of ventilation in. It's a simple, as I said, less is more, so we don't have any sort of flimsy headboard here which might eventually fall down. It's just quite minimalist in a good way.
Good chip.
Nice little touches of carbon fiber. This is thanks to our new interior designer, Marc Piaton, who's brought these black finishes throughout the boat, same as the structure here around the bulkhead. Work from boat. You can set up your computer here, and again, all of your cables, charger fit perfectly in there. So really a very thought through design for someone who's living and sailing on their boat a lot. So moving further forwards, we'll get into the walking wardrobe. Again, I always like to remind you we're only on a 41-foot long boat, which is crazy to have this much space. And behind you, we've also got the double doors. So when you come into the walk-in wardrobe to get changed, close the door off for some privacy. And again, you've got more access to extra clothes and storage goes all the way back there. And same again for the bathroom. Here, you go into the bathroom and close your bathroom door up, and you've got access to your clothes and towels and everything.
Full mirrors,
yeah,
and full shower, full headroom in the shower, and it can open that up for let airflow.
Yeah,
it's a great design, isn't it? As you said, for a smaller boat, it's you've got all you really need, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little laundry basket. So you pop your clothes in here. You can pull the rods out. Off you go to the marina to do your laundry. This is another good example of less is more. We've got a double sink, but one drain.
Oh, nice.
Less plumbing, less maintenance. I'm a sailor. I've had boats in the family for a long time. I know that more simple we can make it while still being functional,
less things can go wrong.
Exactly. You get to your boat and you can go sailing instead of spending time fixing it all the time.
Yes, yes.
So yeah,
fantastic.
Really comfortable. Big storage is behind here. I mean, yeah, it's quite remarkable.
And so I imagine the people who are looking at buying a boat like this they may want to get their wife involved in sailing, so they want the comfort of a catamaran, but they also like to sail.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, often when I meet a couple who says, my partner isn't so keen on boats which heel over and everything, but I really like boats which are fun, that we build this brand for you. It's really, you can have this sailing sensation when you're at the helm, and your partner can be either lounging or cooking or just relaxing without having to always be holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
So it answers that request and that requirement a lot. As I said to you earlier, one of our slogans is excess catamarans for those who swore they'd never buy a catamaran.
Sounds good. Yeah. Look, appreciate the tour.
Yeah.
I'll get a few shots around, but
should we have a quick look outside?
Yes, let's do that. All right.
Cool. So I'll show you the primary helm station. This is where a lot of the magic happens. As the sailor, this is my favorite spot on the boats. What's really cool is you can handle the boat short-handed. I've taken the boat out for weeks at a time, and even just double-handed with my partner, we don't have any issues because all of the lines run back to here. So it's just a hand distance away. I got my traveler, which I got very good visibility on the front all the way back here. Just here, I've got my cabins as well for raising and lowering my dinghy. And even I've got the option of having powered winches to make it easier to hoist halyards. And yeah, right from here, I got good visibility all around.
Nice.
For when I come into the marina, it's really nice. I just pop down my seat. I raise this guy up. Open up my aft platform.
And we are ready to go.
And off I step. Put my mooring line on.
Nice and easy.
Put a little bit of bow, bring the bow in. And put the other line on. It's so, yeah, I actually look forward to coming into the marina on this boat because it's really fun.
Which is very unusual on a yacht. It's usually stress, yeah.
But again, a good thing with the catamaran is that with the twin throttles, you can spin the boat on itself. So you just put it in one in forwards, one in reverse, and just by physics, the boat will spin.
Wow.
So you come in, it's like a little game. And
nice.
You can really position the boat just how you want.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very cool.
Should we go up in the deck and have a bit of a look? Yeah.
So a few cool little excess features. As I said earlier, less is more, and I feel this little scoop here is a really good example of that. It's just a very simple wind scoop that when you're at anchor, sometimes on a catamaran it can be a bit stuffy in the cockpit.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
on port and starboard, we've got these little scoops, and it just funnels the wind.
Oh,
into the
fantastic.
cockpit.
No wonder it won boat of the year with all these little. Someone's
I'm
really
only
thought.
just getting started.
Someone's really thought about this design, haven't they?
And actually, it's not just one person. It's the whole entire XS tribe. So we have this platform called the XS Lab, where our owners don't just buy a boat, they help us build the next one. And they've given us feedback, like this has come from an owner.
Wow.
The aft platforms at the back, that's come from a New Zealand owner who's currently cruising in the Med, who he said, this would be so much easier for getting on and off the boat.
Wow. And you've taken that on board, which is a great thing. Yeah, yeah.
The products really are evolving, so the history of the brand, we had the 12 and the 15 a long time ago when the brand launched, but we recognized they weren't quite in the right DNA of XS. Then we launched the 11, which is good, but it's without the pulse line, it's lacking a little bit of oomph. Then we launched the 14, and with the pulse line, it's fantastic. And now the 13, even without the pulse line, she's a real joy to sail. So the pulse line being the performance rig, as you can see, it's not a joke. It's also a square top main, so this whole boom all the way up, and the square top is really gives you a lot of horsepower.
Wow.
As we go forward, there's a few other things I'll point out just quickly. We've got a water catchment system on the roof, hence why this is slightly recessed. And also, if you set up solar panels, rigid solar panels, it doesn't impact the lines of the boat, because it's a beautiful boat, we don't want to see the rigid solar panels. There's also a few small details I can point out. The reefing lines, reef point number 1, reefing number 2, reefing number 3, so that when you're tightening your ropes up at the back, it's very clear you know which ropes you're working with. Same here on the lifelines. We've got a little bit of reflective tape in the lifelines, so when you go forwards at night with your head torch,
it all lights up. Nice.
Yeah. So it's all these little details which really make it a
pleasure, yes.
A real pleasure, yeah. Great access stairs to get up to your mainsail. So no more trying to reach up quite high. You're really on top of your mainsail here when dropping, or if you need to hoist or do something.
Yep.
And good access stairs. So forward we've got the trampoline. The idea with XS always a bit more on the weight reduction side. We're not going to set up and put a lot of GRP up forwards. Just makes the boat too heavy. And honestly, with some bean bags like this, you set up here, and it's just a pleasure having the water running underneath here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a joy. Forward, we've got 2 sail lockers. This one's open here. If we can have a look, if we want to have a look. Here you can put the generator and then an extra water tank. So there's a deep sail locker, and we put one of the bean bags in there now. And actually, you can go even deeper storage all the way in if you're doing long passages and want to store some long life food or things like that. Rigid bowsprit, 1.6 meter bowsprit. Again, on that seek sensation side, it's a real sailor's boat.
What if someone was to take this around the world? What are the main customizations they'd be doing? Like you mentioned, an extra water tank.
Super good question. Yeah, typically yes, extra water tank, or with the rainwater catchment system. That's quite good.
Yep.
Water maker is very important. It just gives you more autonomy.
Yeah.
Solar panels.
Yep.
That's one not to be missed. And they can be fitted on the roof, as I mentioned earlier.
And you can still catch your water. There'd be no problem there with the flat panels.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you can also, solar panels on the roof and on the davits at the back, which is quite good because they go on top of the davits, so they also protect your dinghy from UV.
Yep.
So it's a win-win.
Oh, nice. And what sort of motor has this got?
We're on twin 40 horsepower Yanmars.
Yep.
So total 80 horsepower.
Easy to access. Can we have, maybe we'll have a look at that just for those who like to
get into the
see the...
We'll go on starboard side just so that we don't need to...
Yep.
The one thing I also like to point out when we look at the engine bay is always, as a prospective buyer, or always think about what direction is your engine bay opening. Because if you have following seas, you do not want it to be opening sideways or this way.
Yes.
Because if all of a sudden you get a big wave, your engine gets flooded.
Yes.
So not only do we have the protection from there, this also opens this direction. And you can have a look. There's a little step down into...
To get in there. And filters are on which...
Yeah, just forward under there.
Yeah, so you can get into them if you need to.
Correct.
Let me go down there and have a bit of a goosey gander.
Yeah, of course.
There you go, 40 horsepower on both sides. And battery setup, your battery.
So in standard, we do AGM batteries, and
Yep.
then you can option them up to lithium. Yeah. And in fact, whilst we're like sort of in the details, back to the Seek Sensation, we're not even running cables. We're running a Dyneema textile, again, to have a better feel when you're underway.
Yeah, lovely. Fantastic. Thank you for that tour. I think you've just about covered everything, and I can tell you're passionate about this boat. That came across very much. So I didn't have to say much at all. You just know it so well.
Honestly, what's nice is I really am proud of the boat that we built. It's been sailing my whole life, and this is my favorite boat amongst all brands. I mean, for the price point, for the
what is the price point? Just a base model.
This boat here, landed in Australia, everything paid with the performance rig exactly. We're at just about 1.5 million Aussie dollars.
Yep.
But the base boat price is, so it's about 485,000 euro. So double that to get Australian dollars.
Right.
So you're just about under a million Aussie dollars for the base.
For the base.
Yeah.
And if you were going around the world or whatever, you would have to add. You'd go
$100,000, $200,000 of options.
Yeah.
And then obviously getting it to Australia, that's where we've added another 150,000 or so dollars of shipping, plus the import tax, plus the bits and bobs.
And if people wanted this boat in Australia, what's the setup there? Is there some available, or is it a bit of a process and waiting?
What's cool is this one currently, so it's just arrived 2 months ago. It's the Australian premiere, and it's going into a fractional ownership system. So the boat's being split into 10 different shares, which makes it super accessible. I think each share is around 189,000 Aussie dollars. And what's nice, it's a walk-on, walk-off sort of system. You get 30 days per year. They take care of all the maintenance and all that sort of stuff. So,
and that will be just staying on the Gold Coast?
Yeah, it's at the Royal Queensland Yacht Squadron.
Oh, nice.
Run by a yacht share. And honestly, for me, if I was living here, I would definitely get into that. Because the boat, even in the winter, if I'm not mistaken, gets brought up into the Whit Sundays. They take care of that, so you just fly out and you just...
Wow.
It's hassle-free.
Makes it easy, yeah.
For a tenth of the price.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a fantastic offer. Otherwise, buy a boat in Europe and then sail it back. That's also what a lot of our excess owners do. They always have a project in mind.
Yep. All right. Cosmos, thanks for your time. That was fantastic. And here's all the awards too. So we've got European Yacht of the Year.
Oh yeah, this is much nicer than that one.
Yeah.
Won all kinds of awards.
And I think we have actually won more since then, but we're running out of space where to put all the stickers.
Thank you for your time.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Mark.
What boat should we have?